guys should come and prepare in advance instead of just preparing on the spot. Anyways, good morning. And today is December 6th, which means today we have, what do we have today? Yes, today is First Friday, so I saw many of you prepare your performances. So I hope that when you guys go out there, you don't do it just as a dance or just as part of our schedule, but as a mission to save souls and to build relationships with people. Anyways, we'll now pray, so can we stand up? Full screen, please. sharing with Mujan and AJ prayer requests, I realized all of them need to have compassion, and we're all the same. Instead of only having compassion for people we like, whether it's teachers, friends, or someone you get along with at Blinn or Cornerstone, we should have compassion and love for people that we might necessarily not get along with, not want to love, or find difficult to be with. So as we go through today, I hope that you guys pray not only just for the people that you like, but as well for people that you find hard to get along with, and you pray for them. And we now proclaim our 5 principles. So let's now stretch your back, stretch your arm, and we'll proclaim it. And let's also proclaim with a loud voice. So salute. I am 5 principles. And gym members, if you can check that the other students are doing properly, please check and correct them if needed. Thank you. So first, hold to the 5 solas of the Reformation as a doctrine standard according to the Reformed faith. Sola Scriptura, sola gratia, sola Christo, sola fide, sola de gloria. Second, aim is to build each person as a missionary. We want mission, the role of mission completion. We prepare for the coming of the Lord in the last days. Third, Spirit is triple school, gospel perspective, kingdom of God perspective, holy perspective, disciple, godly thoughts, godly behavior, godly life. Calling, vision, vocation, evangelism, mission, church in the end. Fourth, meetings to build truth, bring the truth. Training whole personal, whole life, whole directional missionary, visiting nations. Fifth, soul life for be equipped with spirituality, equipped with ability, share the gospel. You may now sit down. So today is now 6, which means I realize moving school, you guys will go next week on Wednesday. Wow. Let's see, you guys have, I think, tomorrow, today, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, Monday, Tuesday, right? So 5 days. So you guys have 5 days left, and soon you'll go back to Korea. So during this time, I hope that you can really pour your heart out to the American people as you evangelize today and as you spend the rest of your time here. Before I move on to the message, because I want to move as quick as possible, is there anyone who needs to make an announcement? No announcements? Okay. In that case, I'll give one quick message / reminder, mainly for Intigen, before we move on, but news. This time, today, let's try and upload old news. Because these days, I think we're being more consistent than last time, and I'm included. I think we could be more consistent with uploading, so I uploaded late again. I wasn't able to upload last night because I slept early, so I take responsibility. But I will try and always upload before 9 at nighttime, so you guys can check on Discord, or I'll just tell you in person so that you can just know, and know ahead of time. So once again, if you have news, I ask that you be responsible, upload it, and apologies on my part for not uploading, and I take responsibility. But for Intigen, let's try and upload news consistently for today and tomorrow. If there's no other announcements or questions that are made, then I'll introduce today's speaker. And he didn't speak last time, but today I think it's his first time speaking, maybe. Anyways, who knows today's speaker for today? Ethan, wow! And I actually think this is his first time speaking. Is it? Maybe? Okay, maybe. Wow! So if you can introduce Ethan and give him a big applause. Wow!
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, my name is Ethan, and today I'm gonna present about the book, the title Heaven's Heroes, and today's title is The Father of Modern Missions. Okay, so before I start, is there anyone who knows who will gonna be the father of modern missions in this presentation? Oh, William Carey? Yeah, that's right. He is the father of modern missionaries, so I can't give point, but let's give big applause to Job. Wow! So before begin my presentation, I'd like to begin with reading this Bible verse. So let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I am a debtor both to Greeks and to barbarians, both to wise and to unwise. So as much as is in me, I am ready to preach the gospel to you who are in Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to save everyone who believes, for the Jew first and also for the Greek. Amen. So this book is begin with this Bible verse, and when you see the life of William Carey, you will comprehend this Bible verse later. So today I want to share the man who called as a father of modern mission. So his name is William Carey. Can you go to the next page? So everyone knows him, right? Do you know him? Yeah, he's pretty well-known missionary among the missionaries and us. So let's look into his life. He was born in humble home in England outside of Northampton in 1761, which is almost like 300 years ago. And he was just a normal boy. He doesn't have any specialty to be a person, shaped the face of the church for centuries. The next page. So when we see his life, when he was young, there was nothing special like that we can see he was gonna be a great man. But with this one quote, he responds the answer. How could you do these all kind of things? And he said this, I can plot, I can preserve in any definite pursuit. To this I owe everything. So with this quote, he decided, and he never gave up. And he kept going on his ministry. So when he was still teenager, he experienced conversion, and in 16 he got a job. He became a shoemaker. Next PPT, please. And when he was 24, he began to preach in the village, in a small church, and teach in a village school. And these early times of ministry, God worked through him and in his heart. So he gave him a heart that want to reach to the unevangelized. So he had really burning heart that he want to share the gospel to the people who never heard about gospel. Yeah, and and about his marriage, it's really well known to other people. I think some of you guys might know, but he married in 1781, and he married with a childhood friend whose name is Dorothy, and they had few children. But his life of marriage wasn't really happy or joyful in every time, because sadly his wife Dorothy had several physical and mental disease, illness. So I heard and I read while he's doing ministry in India, first in the beginning she was really good helper, but gradually she became adopt. But his family followed him to India, and his entire family went to India. And in 1789, he accepted the pastorate of large church. And as time goes by, his concern for those who had not heard about gospel grew and grew and grew. So he was a person without any special thing in his life, but as he grew and as he became a minister and as he had more relationship with God, his concern and his minding grew for the unevangelized people. And in 1792, he published a small book which gonna be great influence to the church in this area. Can you go to the next page? And the title of this book is really long. So this book's title is on inquiry into the obligation of Christian to use mean to the conversion of heathens. Do you understand what it means? So I'll simply explain it in Korean. So this book title mean 이교도의 개종을 위해 수단을 사용해야 하는 기독교인의 의무에 대한 조사. It's really hard, right? Yeah, but I can simply explain this. This book is powerfully work, and this book became a powerful case for churches to involve in missions. So this book eventually ranked as one of the most important piece of literature in Christian history. And in this book, Carey wrote the Christ's Great Commission. And the Great Commission was this. This commission was extensive as possible and laid the disciples under obligation to disperse themselves into every country of the habitate globe and to all habitants without exception or limitation. So it's mean the Christ's Great Commission should be really wide and largely spread and lead to make disciples under obligation to share the gospel into every country, into every inhabitant, every place, and every people who lives in there. And there should not be exception or limitation. So this is the Great Commission he wrote in his book. And in the same year, he shared challenging message of the mission to the pastors, and then which is expect great things from God. He shared a message to the pastors. Expect great things to God. Attempt great thing from God. And for response of pastors for the message was the pastor they formed the Baptist Missionary Society. Yeah, that's amazing. So because of his message, the pastors they formed the Baptist Missionary Society. Yeah. But now it seems like wow, his mission work so fluent. He had burning heart, and his work changed a lot of church. But his zeal for world mission wasn't always welcomed. When he encouraged the group of Christians to reach to unevangelize, to reach to the people, those who never listened about gospel, one man said to him, "Young man, sit down. When God pleased to convert the heathen is Gentile, which is not Christian. Yeah. not Gentile, but heathen is not Christian. Yeah, so non-Christian, heathen without. So I will read once again. Young man, sit down. When God pleased to convert the non-Christian, He will do it without your aid or mine. So, like, when I think about this, I shared a message like, let's go to the world and let's share the gospel and let's change the peoples. But suddenly one guy stand up and say, hey young man, just sit down. Don't think about it. If God pleased to change them or convert them, He doesn't need any of your aid or mine. He doesn't need any help. So, yeah. It's make us think like, are we nothing? Yeah, that's right. God is great. He doesn't need us. But actually it is not. So after I listen this sentence from a man, how would he feel? When I think about this, he could feel like some kind of misery because he was preaching like we should do, but somebody stand against me and saying this. Actually, God doesn't need you and me. So it might be hard to him, but he never gave up. And the fire that burning inside of him never fade away. And in 1793, he went to India. Yeah, India. And yeah, he went to the Bengal. He went to the Bengal, the one province of India, and when he entered and when he reached to the Bengal, he directly started to learn language, like us, like we're learning English in here. As he arrived, he directly started to learn language, and although some disappointment about only few Indian was converted by his ministry, he kept it up. He kept study and translate the Bible completely in Bengali, and he set up a press to print the new Bibles. It's really great accomplishment because actually there was no Bengal Bible or Indian Bible because India there's a lot of languages and a lot of tribes, but he went there and he started to learn language and he translate whole book of Bible, and not just translate and share to them, but he made the print of it, press to print the Bibles in there. In this period, he built also school and started a medical care for the people in there. Not only just offering the spiritual needs, but he also offered physical need, which is education and healthcare. And in 1800, he moved to Danish, which is colony in Serampore, and he spent next 34 years in there. Yeah, and one of great trials came to him in this period. Can you go to the next page? So while he was doing his ministry in their Danish Serampore, in 1812, his priceless and splendid, enormous amount of work, which is translated manuscript or language grammar book, so everything he studied and everything he accomplished is burned in a fire. Yeah, it sounds so tragic. that he put a lot of effort. It's more than 12 years for this work, but it became just ashes in just a moment. But amazingly, he accepted this tragedy as a Lord's discipline and he began again. Yeah. He accepted this as a Lord's discipline and he began again. Not just seeing his effort or his sweat which he committed for this work, but he see the Lord, not himself. So the book says, over the years of list, what he accomplished in is staggering. It's mean after this treasury, over the years and years, what he accomplished, the list of what he accomplished is amazing. It's marvelous and splendid. He translated scriptures whole, in part into 37 languages. Wow, 37 languages. He translated the Bible. Some of them translate into whole Bible, or some is just in parts. But he translated into 37 languages. Can you imagine that you learn 37 languages and like translate into 37 languages? No, right? Even though there's a tragedy, he accomplished amazing thing. And he produced complete translation of the Bible into a lot of Indian language, which is Bengali and Sanskrit and Marathi. And also his stories in Bengal form the basis for modern Bengal writing. Next. And he not only, as I said before, he didn't offer them just spiritual food, spiritual opportunity, but he gave the physical opportunity to them, which is he found Saramfor College to train the Indian minister, like pastor and evangelist, and as well as he established church. He established church and school. He established church for keeping and improving for spirituality, and for education he built church in the India. So eventually he died in 1834, but his impact is still felt across the India, and not only the India, but all around the world. So this is the old presentation that I prepared, but this time I want to share together that I shared about life of the missionary William Carey. And when we see his life wasn't really happy every time. When he married and when we have children, suddenly his wife turned to have illness in physical and mental like disease. And a lot of work that he accomplished turned into ashes in a moment. So when I think about this, the morning assembly that I prepared, and I saved this, but like after one day, I found like this file is like disappeared, removed from my computer. Example. So if I think like this, it's so miserable. I feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. I think I might feel this. For example, I did cornerstone homework in a paper, but the paper soaked in water. So it became like meaningless, useless. I think I might feel so miserable for just this little thing, but this his entire work for his ministry. Not it wasn't for himself, but it was for God, but it became ashes. But he turned his side to God and he regarded that as discipline of God and he started again. So can we have the strength to rise up again from this tragedy? Even though when we reached the first time to India, there were not really a lot of people who converted to Christ, but he kept it up and eventually he translated 37 languages, the Bible to 37 languages. Can we keep it up even though there is a disappointment or miserable situation? This time let us think about this. Today we're gonna go to Brian and we will have First Friday events in there and we will share the gospel. And even though we share the gospel to them, I can assure they will not change directly, radically in there. But yeah, through God's work, they might change in a moment at the time. But let's think about this. Our effort for God's mission, it's really important that we should give effort, but we should not see the result. Like, I put this much effort, but my result is this much. So I'm disappointed, I will not do anymore. Not like this. It's not God's mission. So when we go to the First Friday, let's have passion, like William Carey. I will have burning heart with the people, those who never heard about gospel. If there is a one soul who've never heard about gospel, I'm going to share the gospel to them and be awake for the mind dead toward the soul as Christ had. He came to the earth to save the lost, not to save Pharisees or Sadducees or those who are really righteous, but for a sinner, for who've lost from his kingdom. So this time, let us remind the Christ's great commission again, and let's keep it up. Even though there is a disappointment or discipline from God, let's stand up again in God and in the firm purpose that we should share the gospel. So this is all presentation that I had. So thank you for listening.
Okay. It's now 7:10, so thank you, Ethan, for your message. Wow. Because we don't have time, we'll finish quickly. So if you get the gear on the screen, we'll finish. So stand up. We'll just finish here. So we'll finish quickly and let's move and have breakfast and get ready. So are you ready? Are you ready? 15